Can we talk about how the cartels, they want to attract pregnant women? They use Facebook to attract pregnant women. And we're seeing some of that under that bridge in Del Rio right now. Why and how?
Yes, ma'am. So in Mexico, WhatsApp, the app is a very popular, which is owned by Facebook, and they also use Facebook, right? So they use social media and every other mechanism they can to get the word out that it's time for people to come and that there's a mechanism for people to get here. It isn't organic, and that's one of the things I really try to impress upon people is it isn't an organic thing that thousands of people, primarily from Haiti, just show up at our border at this one particular point, right? They were directed to go there, and they were brought there. They were encouraged to go there by people, and oftentimes they use social media. They use word of mouth, but they also use social media to get here and to encourage people to get here. Yes, ma'am.
Why? Why would the cartel decide, now, September of 2021 is a good time to send all these Haitians who've been here for 10 years across this particular point of the southern border under that bridge?
Well, that's a good question. What we do know is we know that Los Zetas has decided to get into the migrant smuggling business much more than they have in the past, kind of mimicking what the Gulf Cartel has done, or at least factions of the Gulf Cartel. We know that there were policy decisions in the United States and rhetoric in the United States that gave people the idea that they would, in fact, be able to stay, that the environment would be more friendly to them staying. And we know that people showed up here. So all we can really say is that Los Zetas decided now was a good time to do it.
Hmm.
It's possible that some other organization decided now was a good time and Los Zetas just capitalized on it early on. We don't really know that right now. We have
Are
different
they are they
different
smart
ideas
enough?
about it.
Are they calculating enough to take advantage of birthright citizenship? Are the cartels using women about to have a baby in that way?
Yes, very much so. And that's one of those tricky things, like I'm going to say this is going to make everyone mad, but if well, it's a tricky situation because as a mother, you can understand. As a father, I can understand why someone would want their baby to be a US citizen, but at the same time, I can understand the effects on current US citizens that occurs. And
Hmm.
so it's a very complicated situation, and the cartels are very well aware. The cartels who we're speaking of are very well aware of how to use media, how to use media perceptions, how to run media campaigns. Like when you look at the people who come across the border seeking asylum uh, in the Gulf Cartel territory, like south of McAllen, Texas, or in and around McAllen, Texas, those people are dressed in clean clothes. They're dressed in T-shirts that have American band names on them, or West U.S. clothes, because the cartel wants people to see that and wants people to sympathize with them, so that the cartel can
Wow.
continue to do more of it. So they're very, very astute. These are, like I said, these aren't just the drug dealers. These are the lawyers, the politicians, the financiers. These are very smart, capable people. Um, who are benefiting from not only the drug trade but also from the migrant trade. Very
Everything is
smart,
a
capable people.
manipulation. And these are also, and your reporting has helped underscore this. I mean, cold-hearted criminals. You've reported on this like crematorium they have in this one field where they're torturing people
Yeah,
to
there's
death, members of rival gangs, and using a crematorium to and vats of acid or what have you to dispose of their bodies. I don't know what it is, but you've obtained some extraordinary footage and reporting on this.
Yes, ma'am. We our team routinely goes into Mexico and gets that footage and builds relationships so people will give us footage in some cases. A lot of our writers are in Mexico. They're journalists and others in Mexico who cannot write about what's going on there, or they'll get murdered. People don't realize this, but more journalists get murdered in Mexico than just about anywhere else in the world. Syria last year, I think, had more journalists get murdered, but Mexico, I think, was number two. And so a lot of our writers are actually people in Mexico who are Mexicans who cannot write about what's going on there. So what they do is they write under a pseudonym and they send us the stories. We fact check and then we edit them and translate them to English and we publish so that the whole world can see, right? At least the English speaking world and the Spanish speaking world can see what's actually going on there. That's our Cartel Chronicles project. That's part of the reason why I think our border coverage is so thorough, is because not only do we have the sources on the US side and can we travel the US side, but we also report on what's going on the Mexican side of that border. So it's very complicated.